Logan Robinson doing his yearly duty here for us at the Voice of College Football, breaking down the spring personnel as the Noles are in camp trying to fix things from 2-10. All right, let's get to the special teams. And what's kind of interesting there is for a 2-10 football team, man, they had one of the best kickers in the country. Ryan Fitzgerald won all sorts of awards. And, it was just a couple of years before that where he was on the verge of losing his job. He had kind of the yips and went through a bit of a struggle there, but really righted the ship and became one of the best in the country. And also Alex Mastromano, one of the best in all of college football, punting the football. So you kind of lose some key pieces on the special teams.
It's a big one. This is big for spring camp, baby. You lose, like you were saying, Ryan Fitzgerald. Shout out to Ryan. Got to see him up there in Indy. And just awesome opportunity there for him to show his talents in front of a lot of NFL teams. And just like you were saying, though, going through what he did and you know how big it is. Now look at the NFL. A lot of these guys, it's a mental game. Look at Justin Tucker. That man's, well, depending on what's going on off the field right now, I don't know what's some crazy stuff, but future Hall of Famer, one of the best kickers that we've ever seen in our lifetime. It's all a mental game sometimes at the end of the day. And I think him having to overcome that is really, really, truly impressive. And I think that's going to showcase very highly once he reaches into the league as well. But, now you got to find some answers. You also lost your punter too, who was phenomenal for you with Alex Mastromano, the punter from down under. He is gone as well. Ran into him too as well up there in Indy. Those two guys were the highlights. They were the two top players last season. You just can't really argue with that. Finalists for both and their respected positions. But now you look and you got to find out who is going to be that next kicker for you, and that's going to be Jake Weinberg, expected to be your starter going into this next season. Interested to see how things go throughout the spring. Usually our guy Dustin, our editor-in-chief at NoleGameDay.com, he has on a notepad for every practice, a notepad doing tally marks for the kicks, keeping everything nice and updated for all the FSU fans, because kickers matter too. Special teams matters too. And something also too, Mike Norvell always predicates the team on is making sure that we're making the special teams look good and we're going through the processes that we need to do. So Jake Weinberg is your kicker there. And then Mac Chiomento. And I hope I'm getting that right. Dustin said I'm getting that right, but he also called Odell Haggins. So I don't know if I really trust Dustin. We'll see. Maybe Mac will DM me and say I completely screwed his name up. But Mac Chiomento, fun name to say as well, but he's going to be your punter. He's been around with Florida State for a while as well. He's a veteran on this unit, so it was just getting ready to be his turn, and he's been behind Mastromano too. Got to learn a ton from him as well. A big size punter too. So those are your two kicker and punters coming into this season, and really interested to see how Jake Weinberg looks, because we didn't get to see a whole ton from him. They feel really highly on him because of the strength of his leg. There's a lot more that goes into it. Just talking with Fitzgerald up there in Indy, I know there's a lot more than just the strength of your leg. So maybe that's the way that you're kicking it, the point. I have no idea the process that goes through it, but seems like he's one that Florida State feels very highly on. They went in there and grabbed him through the high school levels as well.
It's a golf swing. It's similar to a golf swing, they say. But yeah, most of the big draft guys, they kind of back off on the kickers and say, we got our kicking specialist over here. He'll talk about kickers because, man, that's a whole other side of the sport. It's just football's weird that way. Where every other sport, you talk about basketball players, they're basketball players. You talk about baseball players, they're baseball players, regardless of position. Football, these are all the football players. Those are the kickers over there. Completely different deal, completely different skill set, completely different sport. Basically,
they're in their own realm, man.
They don't even need to know anything about football.
No.
They just
get their job done. Just get your job done, and that will work. Just Mastromano send bombs, and Ryan Fitzgerald just nail those kicks. And I wish Florida State would have utilized him more. Talking about Fitzgerald here, I mean, Mike Norvell felt like there'd be some times where he could go forward and such. I mean, it's it's your offense, man. It's your offense. Take the points while you have them. But then too, I mean, if we're still, going on special teams here, we can't ever forget the, punt return,
Real
kick
quick,
return.
Logan, though, before you get to the
Yeah.
returners, the one thing about Fitzgerald's stats that's kind of funny, and you brought to light part of it is Norvell wanting to go for it on fourth down. But the other aspect of it is if we would go through kicking stats across the country, a lot of fan bases complain because their kickers got too many field goal attempts, like 30 field goal attempts. We need to be cashing in those for touchdowns. Florida State had the opposite issue. They couldn't get Fitzgerald enough kick attempts because they couldn't cross the 50-yard line. He only had 13 field goal attempts, and he made them all.
Yep. Yeah. You know what? I think to me, Florida State and Mike Norvell, we're going to see, this is for another show, but, decision making, coaching thing, something that concerned me. And we didn't see much from him at all during his tenure at FSU. And some things that he decided to do were highly, highly questionable, and as they should be. And that's something that we're going to be questioning going into the season. And he can make us all shut up if you can get past that 50-yard line. We'll be a little quiet then if Castellanos can get you down to the red zone in that first series against Alabama. And your scripted offensive attack. And I shouldn't say Mike. I guess that's not going to be on Mike now. It's going to be on Gus Malzahn, so he can point over to him. But still, that is his hire. That's his hire that he decided to make. And he's putting a lot. I mean, it's all predicated on Gus Malzahn going into this season. And hopefully Mike Norvell made the right hire along with Michael Alford, Florida State's athletic director.
Okay. Now I'll cut you loose on the returners, which obviously it's a two-part process. Basically, you need the guy to secure the football, but then you're also looking for the guy that can maybe change a game.
This is one that you have to really question going into spring without us not being on hand, but going through some names that I think Florida State is going to utilize here. We'll see. Jalen Lucas, I like at punt return. He's back. He came from Indiana. Really good, speedy guy that Florida State, if we were talking about the early part of the season before his injury, he was one that we were talking about more in a more positive light. And then to LaWayne McCoy, Florida State had him back there last year at punt return. I'm just listing him here. I'm not too sure if I'm fond of him staying back there. I maybe it had to do with coaching and such back there, but I'm not a huge fan of Wayne being back there for me. BJ Gibson is one I named on here as well. That could be back as a punt returner for you. Interesting. Mike Norvell, they shocked us whenever they put Keon Coleman back there at punt return during that 2023 season. So, never know what Mike and the rest of the staff prefer. And they do like having a reliable guy. So that's at the end of the day, it's going to be reliable, who can hold on to the ball, catch it, and be consistent there. So interested to see who wins that battle. And then I also do have kick return. Jalen Lucas, I do like because of that speed. I've also got Samuel Singleton back there. He's going to definitely hold on to one of those starting spots if I were to predict that, because he brought back a touchdown last year at kick return. So Samuel Singleton. I also have back here Camden Fryer, someone that might be, I always like having some interesting names going out of the usuals. Camden Fryer has some serious speed. He dealt with an injury last year, did not get to see him, but I think Florida State's going to want to put him on the field, and the earliest that they can probably do that is in special teams. And, maybe it could be a punt return as well, but punt return, kick return. But Camden Fryer, I'm telling y'all, has some serious speed, and you want to have that at the kick return. I want to have someone, that Deuce Span back there previously. And, yes, I like it. He has speed, but it takes a little while for that speed to get going. And I thought there was a lot of hesitancy. Hopefully that is a word. Is that a word, Mark? Hesitancy.
It is a word. You nailed it.
Okay. That is a word. But at kick return, I don't want hesitancy. I was going to say a bad word, but I don't want any blank hesitancy. You get the ball, the ball's in the air. You're all right, man. I would, James Coleman, our guy James Coleman on here, he would say the same thing. When that ball's in there and it's coming near you, that feet's already got to be going, and you already have to have momentum going with you, and you're getting your stride going, and it's not catch and then you go type of deal. It's a lot different than a punt and how you're catching it. And there's a lot of hesitancy, I felt like, from Dewspan and previous guys. I want to see speed. Samuel Singleton does a great job at it, but they got to find another combo piece on the other side. And you just got to go. You got to go. You don't give a damn about what the heck's in front of you. Make sure you're understanding your assignments and wherever you go in left, right, wherever hole. You just got to go. And, interested to see who that might be. I just like Jalen Lucas because he's obviously speedy, but he's small. He's not going to be easy to grab. You got to get low with him. He can put moves on you. That's why I have Jalen Lucas as someone at the kick return. But yeah, that's the special teams. You got to always care about the special teams.
Never any hesitancy out of Logan Robinson.
No,
Breaking down Florida State. Absolutely not. Never.
No. Hey, whenever that ball's coming, we're going. You just got to put a shoulder down, or if you don't feel good about something, just run left or right. Just please haul ass. Please haul ass.
It's like an outfielder with a guy at third base. You don't catch the ball flat-footed and then try to throw it. You got to have a running start. You got to catch it right at the point of and wind up and let her fly, or you're not going to get the guy. Yeah,
exactly.
It's called athleticism, folks. You got to be able to do 2 or 3 things at the same time.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
Noel Game Day is the place to be each and every day. Logan, we always appreciate you stopping by a couple times a year, breaking down the personnel for us. I always enjoy catching up with you and catching up with some Florida State football too deep. So it's a good time.
Absolutely. It's going to be an interesting spring. We'll see what ends up happening there. And who knows, maybe we'll have some access more for you guys to give you more nuggets on things about what's impressing and fall camp. But I'm sure we'll have another position preview. Offense, defense, special teams. Once we go into this fall camp, Florida State might make some moves in the transfer portal. Would not be shocked if there are also there's definitely going to be some attrition. So we'll have plenty more to talk about before Florida State kicks off this 2025 season against Alabama.